4 friends, 1 creepy game. Mark, Sarah, Emma and Jake thought it would be fun. A spooky way to spend Friday the 13th. They were wrong. The game was called the Midnight Game, a ritual, some said, to awaken something dark. The friends laughed it off. Just a silly story, right? They gathered in Mark's basement, the air thick with anticipation and a hint of fear. The rules were simple but eerie. Write your name on a piece of paper, prick your finger and let a drop of blood fall on it. Then light a candle and place it in front of the door. Midnight was approaching and the tension was palpable.
Who's scared?
Jake grinned, holding a candle. His smile was shaky. Everyone felt the fear, but no one wanted to back down. They were in this together. For now. The clock struck 12 and they began the ritual. The candle flames flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Each friend felt a chill run down their spine. The room seemed to grow colder and the silence was deafening. They whispered the incantation, their voices trembling. Suddenly, the candles went out, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in, but they held on to each other, hoping it was just a prank. But deep down, they knew something had changed. The midnight game had begun. The rules were simple but weird. They were written in an ancient script, almost forgotten by time, and passed down through whispers and shadows. They had to prick their fingers, let a drop of blood fall on a photo, their own photo. This act was a binding ritual, a way to seal their fate and connect their essence to the game. Then they knocked on the wooden door 22 times. Each knock echoed through the silence, a signal to the unseen forces that the game was about to commence. Midnight struck, the door swung open, the game had begun. The air grew colder, and an eerie silence enveloped the house. For the next 3 hours and 33 minutes, they couldn't leave the house. The walls seemed to close in, and every creak and whisper felt amplified. They couldn't turn on any lights. Darkness was their only companion, and it felt alive, almost watching their every move. And they had to carry a candle. This candle was their only source of light, a fragile beacon in the overwhelming darkness. The candle couldn't go out. Not if they wanted to survive. If the flame died, so did their chances of making it through the night. The flickering light was their lifeline, a small hope in the vast unknown. At first it was fun. They told scary stories, they jumped at shadows, they even laughed. But the laughter didn't last long. The house grew cold. A whisper brushed past Emma's ear. Jake's candle flickered, almost going out. Their eyes darted around the room. Something was wrong, very wrong. They weren't alone anymore.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, something's not right.
They weren't alone anymore. The game had a way of finding your deepest fears. It was as if it could read your mind, diving into the darkest corners of your psyche to unearth what you dreaded most. No one was safe from its grasp, and everyone had something to fear.
Oh my God, spiders, get them off me! They're everywhere! I can't stand it! Please help me! They're crawling all over me and I can't escape them!
Emma, afraid of spiders, found huge, hairy ones crawling on her arms. They seemed so real, their legs prickling her skin, their eyes staring into her soul. She could feel their weight, their movement, and it was driving her to the brink of madness. She screamed, trying to brush them off, but they were only shadows. No matter how hard she tried, they wouldn't go away. The more she struggled, the more they seemed to multiply, surrounding her in a nightmarish swarm.
Whoa, I feel like I'm gonna fall. Everything's spinning and I can't keep my balance. It's like the ground is shifting beneath my feet.
Jake, terrified of heights, felt himself standing on the edge of a building, the ground miles below. The wind howled around him and the city lights twinkled far beneath his feet. He could feel the vertigo setting in, his legs trembling as he tried to steady himself. He stumbled back, heart pounding. Each step felt like it could be his last, the fear gripping him tighter with every breath. He could barely breathe. his chest tightening as he fought to stay upright. The others tried to help, but each was trapped in their own nightmare. They were isolated, each facing their personal demons, unable to reach out to one another. The darkness seemed to close in, suffocating them with their fears, making escape feel impossible. Sarah panicked. She couldn't take it anymore. She wanted out. She broke a rule, a big one.
I need to get out of here.
She ran to turn on the lights. The darkness seemed to grab her, pull her back. She screamed. The candle in her hand went out. Silence fell. A bone-chilling silence.
Help! Somebody, please!
Her friends called her name. No answer. Sarah was gone. Minutes felt like hours. The clock ticked slowly, each tick echoing the beat of their terrified hearts. Finally, 3:33 a.m., the game was over. Cautiously, they turned on the lights. The house was empty, except for them, and a single photo lying on the floor. Sarah's photo, covered in blood. Mark, Emma and Jake were never the same. They had survived the midnight game, but at a terrible cost. Mark couldn't sleep. He kept seeing Sarah's face, her terrified eyes. One night, he woke to a cold breath on his cheek. He turned, his blood running cold with fear.
Who's there?
Standing in the doorway was a figure, a shadowy silhouette, holding a flickering candle. It smiled, a chilling, hollow smile that sent shivers down his spine. The game is never truly over.